We are here again, another edition of He Who Has Ears. Today, we're going to talk about children in God's kingdom. And we're going to talk about the roles, the importance of children. So we all have children. Children is a very important integral of the family. And they are very, very important. I mean, the default is that, okay, you have the husband and you have the wife. But also equally as important is the children. And the honest truth is that God, considers children extremely important. In the book of Mark, in fact, the three Gospels spoke about it. When men brought children to see Jesus Christ, and the disciples were basically blocking them. And at the end of the day, said, "No, suffer not these kids to come unto me." Children are very important in the kingdom, and that is why we need to talk about them. I brought in a lot of children as part of my panelists, and we're going to hear their views. And then I brought in two professionals who are going to talk. But let the children introduce themselves first. So I'm going to start from my right. CK, can you introduce yourself?
My name is Wong Chukwuka. I'm a second year university student.
18 years old. Very nice, very good.
Studying software.
Okay, awesome.
My name is Wisdom Okoma. I'm 16 years old and I'm in SS3 secondary school.
Okay. Go
My
ahead.
name is Alpo Perez and I'm in year 5 and I'm 10 years old.
10 years old. That's beautiful.
I'm Chukudaliwamu, I'm 16 and I'm SS3.
SS3.
Actually, I'm an ex-secondary school.
I was going to say, Chukudali just finished through secondary school and she did excellent.
All A's. Well done. Yeah. Okay.
My name is Favor Okoma. I'm 19 years old and I'm high school and I'm working on getting an admission
Into the
to
university.
the university.
That's nice. Which university are you planning on going into?
My first choice is University of Ibadan.
University of Ibadan. And what do you want to go and study?
I want to study law.
You want to study law. That's beautiful. So that is the introduction of all the children here. But I know that to my immediate right is my wife, my darling wife. She serves 2 roles. She serves many roles in the house, but in this particular edition, she's just going to serve 2 roles. The first is she's going to be my co-anchor, and second, she's also going to be part of the panelist. Why does she qualify to be part of the panelist? Because she has 4 wonderful children, and she brought them up very well. And also, she's also a proprietress of Early Years Learning Center. And that's a creche, a preschool that she ran for so many years. She's also a marriage counselor as well. So she's here in her capacity as my co-anchor and as a panelist in this case. You're welcome, my dear.
Thank you very much. You said it all. Thank you.
Okay, I was actually supposed to let her introduce
I
herself,
thought, yes.
but I got carried away.
Yeah.
But if there's anything you'd like to
okay.
add, please do
okay.
so.
You said it all.
Okay, alright. Okay, I'm not going to make the same mistake twice.
Okay.
Can you introduce yourself, please?
Alright everyone, I'm Alukolu Akemi, the mother of 2 great giants, yeah. Then I'm an educator. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to start with you, CK. Are you a born again Christian? Don't let me assume.
Yes, ma'am.
You are? Oh, very good. How long have you been born again? if you don't mind sharing.
About 4 years.
About 4 years. About or 4 years? 4 years. Okay. Do you remember the encounter? How it happened? What exactly how did it happen? What gave you the conviction? What moment did the conviction set in?
It was during the program in January
2020. Okay.
Because I've been in church basically all my life. They haven't really, they lost church. Because I grew up with it, so it was like very routine. But then, I guess, the word of God got into me. And then, I decided, just, there's no running from this. Do it. So it can be
So you said a lot of things that basically caught my attention. It's not that it was a routine, it was just church, and so those two words are very, very, very key, because a lot of people just assume that because someone goes to church, then automatically they ought to be born again, or maybe because their parents are Christians or pastors, then automatically they ought to be born again, or they ought to be prom and proper. But that is not usually the case, at least from your story. So wisdom. I'd like to.
Sorry. So was it just in church, or there was a particular program? I'd like to know exactly. Was it like a church service? You just came to church on a Sunday, and
after a short while after the 2019.
Okay. So you decided, okay, this is the time. Okay.
What's your story?
I haven't really had an encounter with. I was born in a Christian home and just feel with it. Go to church, do things in church, work out in church, all those things. So I just find myself in the right place in church.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is, right, you haven't had an encounter. So at this point in time, you can't say that you're fully in. You haven't been feeling your life fully yet. You're still observing and seeing what is going on. Am I right to assume that?
So you've not confessed?
No, I've done that.
Okay. You've not, so you believe in your heart, you confess with your mouth that Jesus Christ died for you on the cross. So you're born again.
So what made you confess? Is it because someone said, won't you give your life? Or you just decided to give your life? How did it happen for you?
It was altar call.
An altar call. Okay, someone was preaching.
Yeah,
Pastor Tunde. And then his word basically ministered to you. And then you said you had to come out. Can you remember the day and date? Okay. So I'll suggest you do this. Try and, because I think, inquire and find out the day that he came to church so that you can know the day. If I ask you right now, when is your birthday?
5th of January.
You could tell me that. But if I ask you, when did you become born again? Can you tell me? Exactly. So it is very important that you should be able to tell us the exact day and date, because it's a birth. It's a birth, and you really need to know a spiritual birth. You were the first one is the physical birth, when they actually gave birth to you from your mother's womb. Then the second one is the spiritual birth, and you really need to know. So I would suggest you try and remember. And peradventure you don't remember, it's okay. What you can do is rededicate your life immediately and take that date that you will dedicate your life as the date in which you gave your life. It's not how long, but how well. Okay? Alright. My young man. So, are you a born-again Christian? Are you a born-again Christian? Please,
Yes.
feel free. You're a born-again Christian.
Yes.
Okay. So, when did you become born again? You can't remember, but you can remember the occasion. Do you remember the occasion? Do you remember what happened? Do you remember under what circumstance you gave your life? You don't remember. Okay. But do you remember saying that you've given your life to Christ?
Yes.
Okay, but you don't remember the day? You don't remember under what circumstance? You don't remember under what circumstance? I know that you're from a Christian family,
Yes.
and your mom and dad are very active in the ministry. Okay, so it is second nature to say that you were born into Christianity. No, not just any Christianity, practicing Christianity. True?
True.
So we can easily forgive you when we cannot tell exactly when you gave your life and you did, and under the circumstances, because I'm sure that you must have had so many encounters, right? Okay. So, but I'm going to tell you today, just like I told Wisdom, right? You really need to have a spiritual birthday. Okay? Right? Think about it, and if you think about it and everything, then you're in the spirit, then make that day then you now basically do the confession all over again and make that day your spiritual birth. Okay? And then write it somewhere. You might not remember, but just write it somewhere and know that. The reason why for me, I don't know about you or you, but why it's very important that you remember your spiritual birth is because a lot of things hinge on it. You understand what I'm saying? Even sometimes basically wanting to go astray, you understand? You would remember that feeling when you gave your life to Christ. And then there are times whereby you sometimes feel as if you're getting cold. You are not cold in terms of cold, but cold in terms of your mind is not there. Yeah, as if it's just a chore. If they're going back to the day that you were born spiritually, can actually act as a jump start, to keep you going. So I think it's extremely important that you really remember the day and the circumstances so that it can always keep you grounded, I think. So will you basically consider that? Because if you think of any, then you won't have anything, you won't have any anchor to hang on to. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have anything to say?
I think what's basically so I know this young men and young lady. I think what's basically going on here, and so we need to actually ascertain. So I have 4 children. The eldest is 26 and the youngest is 19. And you hear them saying things like, we were born into Christianity, and they were, not given any chance, really.
There was no option.
There was no option. They were born into Christianity right from day one. As soon as they're able to I'm able to go out and take the children out, they're going to church. So basically from like 6 weeks, they're going to church. And myself and my husband were workers in church. And we've had times that we have to be in church as early as 6:30, because we have to pray and things like that. And of course, we're taking our children to church. So, because with CK, because you're 18, I think so. I think you've been able to make that decision on your own. Like wisdom now, it just seems like, okay, we're doing it because our parents, they're Christians, they're going to church. We too, we are going, we're following them. And then by the time, they're like 18, when they're able to make the decision, like really truly understand for themselves, because it's not because mommy and daddy has compelled and compels you. But growing up for me, I remember when I was growing up, my mom would say things like, if you don't come to church with me on Sunday, I'm not paying the school fees. So we have to, everybody has to, so it wasn't because we really loved what we were doing or whatever, but because there was a condition, basically. So from like young praise here, he said, yes, I've given, I remember I've said that prayer and all of that, but I can't remember when, because, obviously, he's been born into a Christian home. His parents are very active in church, they're, believers, and he's following it's just following what they're doing.
And it is very easy for that to become a routine.
Exactly.
And when it's a routine, then it has lost its essence.
Because then like I said, what happens? Like CK, now that you're 18 and you can get around yourself and things like that, and you're in uni, and there's no mommy and daddy there, are you an example of a Christian? Really? Favor?
Before we get into that question, I would really want to go around the initial question that we started with. And I'm very excited to hear what my Chukwudalu would say. Okay.
Well, for me, I remember it was a Sunday.
Okay, so for you to start with that means first of all, you have given your life to Christ. You have. Awesome. Go ahead.
It was a Sunday. It was Sunday in May 2018. I think it was this video they played. I can't really remember the name, but I knew that it was about like the end times or stuff like that, and like rape, persecution and stuff. So something like touched me that day, and I was like, I'm not able to handle this thing. And because like what we said, I was born into a Christian home and everything. I'm like, so if they take me from my mom, I'll push me like, I won't be able to. And I really remember the pastor that preached that they said that if you already given your life to Christ, but you don't have like a specific date that you said, oh, this, that's when I said, okay, I'll give my life to Christ, or I will dedicate my life to Christ this day.
Okay, so when is your spiritual birth?
May 2018.
May, okay. I'm May too, but not spiritual, but physical.
May 2018.
Date?
Okay.
May what?
So you were how old then?
20.
Good question.
2018. 11.
So you were 11, okay.
Okay.
And you really understood what you were doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So first of all, you need to get a date. So what you can do is check the calendar of that era and try and figure out when exactly. But like I said, if you can't really remember, you can start now. You understand what I'm saying? It's not how long or how old. You understand? It's how well, basically. Favor, are you born again?
Yes, sir.
You're born again. Awesome. So how did it happen? Let us share your story.
About 10 years back, we're still very little, so
So 10 years back, you were like 7, I mean 9, 8, 9. Okay.
So, yes, we're giving birth into Christians and all that. So, we didn't have any choice but to follow what our mom and dad were. And we believed in choosing Christianity. But my mom took it far so as to, I think it was in Saturday, I remember the date. So she was in the morning, you see that she's going to pray together, going to accept Jesus as our Lord and Savior. At that means we are thinking to be baptized in the Holy Ghost. So after the prayer, I haven't had an experience like that before. I just felt different, and I was only speaking in one tongue at that time. I think it was a Rabba. That was only what I was seeing at that time. I was 8, 9, I think. So that was my first experience giving my life to Christ. And I felt different some days. So, and it was really life changing. Although down the years and down ups and downs, I dedicated my life to Christ. But I would say that is the one that was very unique among others.
Okay, well, that's nice. So, but you don't remember the date?
I can't remember.
The date. Okay, so lesson number 1 for everybody, right? If you can't remember the date or the time or period, there's no shame about it. You dedicate it now. As in, not right now, live on air, but maybe after you sit down, you think about the whole thing again, and then you really dedicate your life. But it brings me to a question which I'd like to ask Sister Kemi here, because there was something that was unique about your giving your life. You said your mom basically told you that you must give your life at that point in time. And I would like to, as an educationist and also a Christian children's teacher, what is your opinion about that? Is that really is that acceptable as as a date or as a true confession unto Christ? I mean, because we know that coercion is not supposed to. I don't know if this will fit in. But let me hear what your opinion about that.
Okay, thank you, sir. I would say giving your life to Christ should be genuine anyway. Should be a thing that you decide to do. Not someone asking you have to give your life to Christ today. You have an encounter. And you should like I grew up in a Muslim home. My dad is a Muslim. We're struggling. My mom sometimes we go to church. From church we go to mosque. So it's kind of, but it got to itself I can't continue this way, mom. That's where exactly are we going to? So from that day on, you're like, okay, let's do it this way. So they're going to CAC church, and CAC church is more like a Yoruba church. Fire, die, prayer, blah, blah, blah. So, and it got to a state that I had to okay, mom, myself and my younger brother, I told them we are going enough to decide some things on our own. So that day henceforth, I had to okay, we're not going to CAC church again, and she allowed us. Okay, I think I should be 14, 15, yes, 14, 15. So, and she allowed us, even her dad. He allowed us. Okay, you guys are free. So from there, we started going to First Square Church. And that was when I had an encounter with God. It's not as if my mommy had to like tell me to, force me to do a certain thing at that moment. I was free. I had this connection with God. I understand my wrong or my right, and I had to put things straight. So talking about Favor's experience with God, how he had to had an encounter with God, I would say though, parents these days, they're like, do things my way, which is not really, though I do the same thing also, but I got to understand that it cannot always be my way, I had to like, okay, mommy, calm down, people and titles my voice, can we do it this way? But it's not really bad that he had to give his life to Christ due to what his mom told him. But he has a chance to rededicate his life. I'm sure he had done that already. So it shouldn't be like, my mom asked me to. No, it shouldn't be that. You should have a specific rededication of his life to Christ. Yeah, let me just...
Okay.